College athletes are some of the hardest working people in this country. The sacrifices they make and the man hours they put in to perfect their ability to play their sport is almost unreasonable. With all their efforts these athletes make towards their sport, they are still unpaid by the schools they play for. The NCAA defines these hard-working people as student athletes and think their main priority for them to go to college is get their education and after play their sport, no matter how good they are. The only way a student athlete can be paid for by his or her hard work is by getting a scholarship to the college they are attending. This can equate to up to $250,000 or however much the college costs. The driving question is if the student athlete makes more money than the scholarship he or she has been awarded, should he or she be compensated for some of that money? Some college football stars make upwards of $1 million for their college just by putting their last name on the back of a jersey. Yet none of this money goes to the athlete. The schools and the NCAA want to make sure that school comes first over sports and make it clear that the sport an athlete plays is an extracurricular activity, not a job. In Scene 1, the athlete gets no money from scholarships and no money from the football program. You will see that he still has to train as hard, but cannot do regular things such as pay for clothes. Also, the player, after graduation, still has the weight of paying off his student loans.
Athletes are always sleeping in class. Nevin, why are you sleeping in class?
I'm sorry, Miss Bizzle. Last night I was up playing football and I had to do homework when I got home, and then I had to wake up early in the morning and work out. Class is just too much for me right now. Ooh, I like this. What? This is way too expensive. I can't afford this. In Scene 2, the athlete gets a scholarship to the school, but no compensation to play football. Just like in Scene 1, the athlete still has to train as hard to improve his football skills. However, due to the football player not being able to get a job, he cannot afford to go out to dinner with his friend. He also is forced with paying his bills, which he cannot do because he does not have any time to make any money.
You gonna get some food later?
Sorry dude, I don't have any money.
How do you not have any money? You don't even pay for school.
I would have a job, but I don't have time for work. I have to go to school and play football, and on top of that, working is just too much. I wish I was at dinner with Graham right now.
I know, grand like piano. Stocked in my pocket, I could make it to the condo. I could take her and you too, like Bono. They say you got a point like Ray John Rondo. 1, 2, 3. If you trying to get fresh like me. 1, 2, 3. If you trying to get fresh like me. 1, 2, 3. Trying to get fresh like me. 1, 2, 3. If you trying to get fresh like me. Now I'm fresh like that. I'm the best like that. I'ma read the on your speakers some respect like that. I see them ladies in the house, they better than Colin Weber. So naturally my number I slip it like Charles collectors. And I'm the one that they came to see. Ayo, my
What? $1,000 to Dominion? This is ridiculous. How am I going to pay this off?
Nevin, your rent was due for last month. If you don't pay, we're going to have to evict you.
I'm sorry, I'm paying off my bills right now. Once I have the money, I promise I'll give it to you, and I'll do it as soon as possible. Please don't evict me. 3, the athlete gets a scholarship to go to school and money from the football program to play football every day. This athlete still has to train, but can afford luxuries such as nice clothes and going out to a fancy dinner. Ooh, kind of like this. $2,598. Looks good.
This is a really nice restaurant. Thanks for taking me here.
Anything for you.
Everything's super expensive. How can you afford this?
The school gives me money to play football so I can go out to nice dinners and take you on nice dates.
Okay. I believe that college athletes should be paid because even though they do receive uniforms and free education, I think it's naive to believe that they are there for the education and that they're making the NCAA and their school so much money that it's not evenly distributed.
Athletes should be paid to a certain extent due to the fact that they thrive in an intense environment.
I think student athletes should be paid. Having had a Division I student athlete's son, the scholarship that he earned is substantial, but it doesn't always cover all their expenses, and that excludes any extracurricular activities. Just talking room and board specifically, different cost of living, different places, and college athletes have to be in their venue practicing with their team from 6 in the morning usually till 8 or 9 at night. They also are there year-round. So the money that they earn for the school year doesn't really completely compensate them and cover all of their expenses. The schools make an inordinate amount of money off their athletic programs, and the ratio of what a student athlete earns in a scholarship to the net profits of the school are not equal. There's not that much parity in that. So that's just
I think that athletes, Division I athletes that pay for sports that charge money to get in could possibly get paid, but it's going to open a box of worms, Pandora's box, if you will, about paying everyone. So that's it.
Should get paid for going to school, especially if the school is making money for their sport. I think they should be paid, and I think it should be monitored so they don't abuse the salary that they make.
They're already receiving a scholarship, so they're getting a free education. And if you did, then the schools that had the boosters that donate the most amount of money would get all the great athletes, and you would even have more of a disparity between those who have and those who have not. So no, they should not.
No, athletes should not be paid in college because they're already getting paid with not necessarily paid monetarily through funds, but they're actually getting their school paid for. And school is very expensive nowadays. So you go into some athletes they're making a lot of money for their university, but also they are receiving compensation for the education that they're getting.
Student athletes should not be paid to play sports in college due to the fact that most student athletes in college receive financial aid and scholarships through their...
I personally do not believe that college athletes should be compensated with extra money, considering the fact that they are already being compensated with tuition, and they have an opportunity to expose themselves to professional scouts on a regular basis in terms of furthering their career. They do possess an extra bit of responsibility as student athletes, especially with the media attention that they receive. However, I do believe that education should be their first responsibility, and I think that more college athletes should consider finishing and graduating before they are talking about being compensated for their time.
To be honest, I'm kind of on the fence about it. I think I agree with something they say and I agree with something they don't. The only problem I have with it is that the colleges that make a whole lot of money, it would be an unfair advantage to them. The big schools, like the ACC schools, the Big Tens, and then you have the small schools that would not be able to pay the athletes. And if I'm an athlete at a small school, I think I would deserve just as much as an athlete at a big school. So I think there's an unfair advantage to the power conferences.